Morial, one of our favorites on American Urban Radio Network, with the National Urban League. You've been at the forefront, you've been at the helm, you've been running this ship for a mighty long time, and I assume that you ain't tired yet.
I ain't no ways tired.
You ain't no ways tired. It's Sunday, y'all just don't know that. It's Sunday here.
We have to have the inspiration of so many.
Absolutely.
Not only people from our families and our ancestors, but we have to have the inspiration of today. What we're working on today is paramount importance. What we're fighting for today, a better nation, a stronger democracy, a more equitable future. This is what we're working on. The immediacy of issues like DE&I, the immediacy of issues like the racial wealth gap, the immediacy of issues like that, of course, are paramount, but the goal and the vision of what we're working for is what I keep in mind, because that's my inspiration.
I want to ask you about, we are seated here in New Orleans, and for me, New Orleans is like, I call it like little Africa, like so many others do. And you spoke earlier on a panel about elections and allyships, and connect to that as a global conversation, and intertwined in that is immigration. As we go forward and look at the browning of America, how should we look at elections and allyships?
Well, in this community, I led this community as the city's mayor. And
they call you the mayor. Like when I was doing, like the mayor. Okay.
And I had the opportunity to lead. My vision, and it was of political necessity, was to build this multidimensional coalition. So it was foundationally, because my political base was the Black community, but we had a Latino community and an Asian community, and we had segments of white New Orleans as well. And we had to amalgamate them around a vision for the city and for this region. And so from the very beginning of my political leadership, I sort of was raised politically.
We know.
At a time when Jesse Jackson had his Rainbow Coalition concept. My father, who ran, talked incessantly about coalition building. And I always believed in that, based on the foundation of the Black community. I think today, as America is changing demographically, we have to recognize the inherent power of a coalition with our Latino brothers and sisters. The power that could come from coalition building with Asian Americans and Indigenous Americans. Why is that important? Because African Americans are 13, 14% of the population. But when you add other communities of color, we're up to 30. We're up to 35, in some states as high as almost 50. It's the politics of addition and multiplication and bridge building. Now,
how has that bridge building been going?
So there's a lot that might not be seen by the naked eye.
Okay.
One place not seen is this tri-caucus effort in the Congress between the Black, Latino, and Asian caucuses, where they work on a number of things together.
Okay.
Now, coalition building and working on a united front does not mean unanimity. Right. It doesn't mean you subsume who you are and you try to consolidate or merge. What it is, it's coalition building.
Okay.
We will find the things we can find common ground on. We will sometimes disagree on things, but we will not allow the disagreements to tear apart what we agree on. And so this is what's important when you think about coalition politics. There's some that want to simply turn it into a competition amongst communities of color. That's a destructive, to me, strategy. And it's the type of strategy that those who are adversaries use to create chaos, confusion, and conflict.
Which we are in to a great extent right now. Organized confusion, I would say, especially when we look at Project 2025. So taking what you're saying, how can we coalesce together to push against this? Even though we've been saying this is the most important election, and I do believe that whoever wins, regardless, the next election, it's going to tick up.
To DE&I is a threat to the status of all women, including white women.
Who need to be in the fight.
DE&I is a threat to Black America and our access to the economy and to jobs and contracts and business opportunities. The threat to DE&I affects Asian Americans and indigenous Americans as well. To understand the threat covers all who benefited from the Civil Rights Act of '64.
Absolutely.
And we have to say to those that want to create division, the threat to DE&I affects the LGBTQ community because the entire threat is premised on the other Americans. And somehow the quote other American versus a focus that we are all part of this country and that those who have been locked out and left out deserve an opportunity to be included in all opportunity, in all pathways to prosperity.
Well, I love talking to you. You always break things down so it will forever be broke. Where can people go to find out more information about the work that the Urban League is doing?
NUL.org.
NUL.
And at Marc Morial.
At Marc Morial.
And at Nat Urban League.
And at Nat Urban League.
Follow us. And then this year we'll be back in New Orleans in about 3 weeks for the National
That is exactly
Conference.
Right.
So it's NULconference.org.
What's the theme this year for the conference?
Our theme is
Did I put you on the spot? I
D3.
know. D3.
So, defend democracy, demand diversity, and defeat poverty.
Y'all better go. Y'all better go check it out. D3.
That's our call to action.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.